Hi, I wanted to share my thoughts on the recent part of the Dark and Terrible campaign. If you haven't seen it yet, if you haven't seen our actual play, please check out the playlist in the description below. It was definitely the most challenging session for me, because so many things were happening at once. So many events and the agendas of the different non-player characters were happening. So I needed to keep track of all of it. The player characters are going to do this, so now this event becomes available. They have decided to do this other thing instead, so now this other event is unavailable. Now these non-player characters are going to be doing this. Now this non-player character has sensed the player characters. Now these non-player characters are going to be doing that. All of that came together. It was also very difficult to keep the mystery, the ambiguities about what is going on, because the greatest strength about this campaign lies in the mysteries, in the unknown. The player characters still do not know what is going on. They have some clues, but we have yet to see if they understand what all of that, of the larger picture, the complete puzzle. They have the pieces, but can they arrange them in the correct way? And as you can tell, and of course this video is going to contain spoilers for that part, so please check it out if you haven't seen it, they still have some uncertainties. They could be certain about certain things, they could be certain about particular things, but it is still not a sure thing, right? For example, it seems like Brother Aemon is evil, but is that so? Could it be that Lothian is tricking them? Could it be that Lothian is insane and he fell into the error of looking at Brother Aemon as evil? What about the water that they drank? Is it actually bad for them? They are only mostly because of their effects, like Josh pointed out in the out of character talk in the session. After the session, Josh pointed out that perhaps when they ate the apples, that's when they became contaminated, and then the sort of condition started to get worse. And when it comes to the effects of this sort of malady, they only have the information from Idris, the ranger, and Vivian, his companion, that there is this superstition that if you leave Brickshire while under the effects of this Dagon fluid, according to them, they will die. So it's, but like I said, it hasn't, sorry, it hasn't been verified, right? What if they actually got to the barge in time? Maybe they could have decided to go back to Brickshire. But what if it's true and they die halfway, or they start to feel the effects and they decide to turn back? Maybe it was all a lie. They could have escaped Brickshire and they could have made it to Jarlsberg. But were they willing to take that risk? What if it's true and the characters, they end up dying during the journey and it's game over for that campaign? I think that, as always, Josh and Crispy did an amazing job. That moment where they got ambushed by the skeletons, that was pretty jarring, don't you think? Josh was in great danger, surrounded by all of these skeletons, almost fending them off using his crossbow, and Crispy trying to get to him and keeping the lockbox safe. And then Josh gives us a great example on how to use all of your character's abilities, attributes, skills. In the case of Quick and Classic, it is a very simple system. You only have your ability, and that ability is modified depending on your actions. Maybe you take a stealth action, something related to Enigma, to Charm, etc. Something on the athletic side. In the case of Josh, he knows that he isn't exactly the best combatant, so oftentimes he relies on trickery, deceit, and stealth, hiding his crossbow, being very sneaky about things. That's how he has survived so far. In the case of Crispy, He is of course a capable swordsman, but he is also using his charm even during battle, trying to trick his enemies. Like when he feigned that he was injured, he used that charisma to trick the enemy and then defeat that orc somewhat easily. That's why there are so many people that take a look at different RPG systems and they say, oh no, that system relies completely on this stat. Like in Mechton, oh, you need to put all of your points in that stat or you're not going to be able to be, you won't be a capable pilot when you are riding your mecha. No, if you are more charismatic, try to trick your opponent during battle, using radio communications, or using your charisma to get even more allies into the fight. Or if you are more on intelligence based, like a hacker sort of character, try to hack into the enemy's mecha, try to find some defense mechanisms or systems and activate them against the enemy. It's all about being intelligent as a player, using your skills, attributes, working with your flaws and limitations. And Crispy and Josh have given so many examples on how to do that. I think the scene with in the spire, the event or the encounter was very jarring, quite terrifying. First, you had this huge spider on the side. That it was how would you call it? Yeah, well, things weren't as they first appeared to be. But then the real horror came with that baby extra dimensional spider. Even killed one of their henchmen. That spider was so tricky, in a certain way formidable. So it took all of their resources and maneuvers and tactics to defeat it quickly. It deals so much damage. That spider was so terrible. It could have been any one of them. They should have done something pretty extreme instead of just climbing, perhaps burning all of the spider webs as they went along, perhaps being extremely paranoid, looking for the darker corners and shooting just a random crossbow bolt, because this spider, it was one of the most overpowered enemies. This is a sandbox setting, so they got way in over their heads. That's the beauty of sandbox settings. You're going to be running into enemies that are above your level, your tier. But as you saw through intelligent tactics, they actually managed to avoid a total party kill, because that enemy had the power to pretty much one hit anyone. And the difficulty was quite high. That's why Crispy sensed that this was not an ordinary foe. He invoked the power of Odin to get that reroll in case he failed, but thanks to him being equipped with the magical best and the great die roll, I think it was 2 points above the required difficulty, because now they are, because of their racing ability, their tactics, their strategies, they are usually rolling in between the D8 and D10. So that was a D10, especially thanks to Josh knocking down the spider, throwing his lantern and guiding the lantern with telekinesis. The spider was stunned, it was burning, and Crispy took advantage of that, got a great roll, but the battle could have gone even worse. That spider was still not dead. It could have kept on attacking, perhaps killing one of the other hirelings or even one of the player characters. That would have been devastating. Because I never pull any punches when it comes to character death. But now, depending on how things proceed, I think the next session is going to be potentially the most important session when it comes to their understanding of what is going on. We have yet to see. They're still free to do whatever they like. Maybe they decide upon another course of action. We shall see. I am still very surprised as to how they took very different choices when compared to my group at the physical table. They went a completely different route. We are going to talk about that when we finish the campaign. We always have that out of character talk. I am going to mention the things that my other group did different. So they will see that there is a lot of potential to be explored in this particular adventure module. I will reveal the name of the module when we finish the campaign. Even if I finish this campaign with Josh and Crispy, my other group has already finished the campaign. I feel definitely, verifiably so, I have only explored like 1/4 or 1/5 of the entire thing. It is huge. So, thank you for watching this video. I hope that Crispy also produces a video with his own thoughts and opinions on this session. It's always great to listen to those opinions. As always, I would like to know anyone else's thoughts and comments on this. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for your likes and your comments. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. And remember, it is better to roleplay and fail in character than not to roleplay and fail as a player. Once again, thank you, and see you later.